right, guys. Today we have Dr. Sujata Singhi. She has done Masters in Business Administration with majors in Finance and Marketing. Dr. Sujata moves from the corporate environment to transforming lives through life skill education, wellness with sound and spiritual sciences, the wisdom of Vedic leadership, both in corporate and public governance. She has done extensive research on the field of sound as medicine and spiritual science of Vedic systems in leadership and wealth creation. She was confirmed with a doctorate in sound and spiritual sciences accredited by Cambridge University, UK, and also hold a diploma literature in music arts. She has presented various research papers on the same and has been honored with 4 more doctorates in the fields of life skill education, NLP, humanities, science of happiness and wellness. She has been author for many international bestseller books, Power of Sound, Cut the Crap, Reclaim Your Richness, and so on. So let us talk to her and know more about these books.
Thank you so much, and thank you for inviting me on your platform and the introduction. Thank you so much. Now, with regards to the books, Power of Sound was the book which had been published in 2017, but had a long record of how I had worked with sound in various fields, be it corporates, and I've worked in hospitals across various countries as well, and found that sound is a parameter and a tool, both together, which can help a person revive from most crucial diseases as well. And later on, when I started studying sound for oncology, that is related to cancer, I became more of a specialist with regards to using sound to help people revive from terminal diseases. So even relapse cases had got revived. And that is where actually I was given the title as Boon to Mankind by Shri Pranab Mukherjee when he was the President of India. So I would say that sound is something we already had. It's just that I worked on it to find the scientific aspects. And it is pure science, which is measurable and which gives the results. So the book looks like this, which is Power of Sound, and it has also been awarded. Now, talking about sound has got a scientific aspect. When I talk about it, people think Indian systems are all about superstitions. But I stepped up to understand that Indian systems are spiritual sciences. They are not superstitious. Each and every festival, each and every way of our life is actually a spiritual science which shows us how to lead life to the fullest. And today, the Western world is looking up to India and trying to do the research to find out what we Indians did to survive the various years, more than 30,000 years of happy living. We lost everything by the invaders. We were looted, but finally, where are we? We are rising and emerging as world leaders. So being a Vedic, I would say I'm a true fan of our Vedic systems, and having done a PhD in the same, it is the only tool which can make us happy and prosperous. And that is why the next book, Reclaim Your Riches, came up. Now, this book was very close to my heart, and in fact, I got the right people coming together to be a part of this book. So there was Gaur Gopal Dasji, then there are the leaders who are there in this, I would say, in this world leaders, in the world of spirituality as well as corporate leaders, brought them together to reclaim the riches. And this book is a must read for all who want to make money in your life, not by working, but by attracting it. Don't lose life working. We are not donkeys. We are not here to work. We are here to attract what we want. And money is a tool. So Reclaim Your Riches is all about spiritual wings and the wings of prosperity and practical spirituality, which can help us soar high in life. I have used it on my various clients, including celebrities, VIPs, the ministers, and they have all reclaimed their riches in the right way. How can a common man not reclaim their riches? Just read the book and you will be enticed to being a money manifester. That's our human right.
Great. So, ma'am, you have written so many books, and I just learned that you have completed around, you have achieved a record of covering 300 workshops in the last year during the pandemic on mental well-being. Can you please share something about that?
During the pandemic, we all were moved from the offline to the online. So it was a boon. All of us from across the world could get connected. And at that point, because of the pandemic, the biggest emotion human beings all across the world were facing was fear. And fear is the first factor which is the home to all diseases. And along with fear, it is always the immense stress. And it became a need of the hour. And having worked with sound and having had this knowledge about understanding how we can bring ourselves back into normalcies, handle situations as they are, accept it, and take the right action. So it was at that point of time, I would say it was just a divine plan. Because in April 2020, I started getting calls that we need help. It was college students, university students, corporate employees, government departments, everywhere they said there's a lot of chaos, inability to work, this new system doesn't help us anyway, we don't know how to go about it. Even I didn't know how this new system would work, but I knew what we can do within ourselves to allow the systems to work. So I worked on the other way around and started conducting workshops. I started getting calls from various places. And when I was doing these workshops, I realized that the calls of depression and all these things which was generally getting started reducing, and I started giving them tools and techniques to do things on their own, and also recorded one particular frequency which was in 2019 with no idea of why we need it. I was in Singapore and I did this work, and when in Jan 2020 pandemic was announced, I gave it free to the whole world in the form of a YouTube link, and people started using it. Now these 307 workshops, to be precise, impacting more than 3 lakh lives globally, was what happened. And I was not aware of the count. I was just doing it, and this 307 happened because in a day I was doing 3, 4, 5 talks also, just to keep people across the world happy, especially in Europe and US, because there it was really a difficult situation. India came in later. So when all these things started happening, I thought what I'm doing is probably the right thing to do, and I need to start doing this on a larger scale. But I did not know that it was impacting so many lives altogether. It was already creating the ripple effect. And at that point of time, my book also was almost ready. Cut the Crap was a book which I wrote in 2 days, because I thought, what are the other ways I can reach more people? So Cut the Crap, which of course 2 days would mean my years of experience, went down in 2 days. And when that happened, I got it that yes, we need it, and like-minded people need to come together. And that is how a beautiful tribe came together. I used to give out the meditations, I used to give out a lot of talks, used to give out a lot of tips to do. Also started helping them with sattvic living, so that they are away from all the environmental issues which we are seeing. And I would also say that it was a boon for this pandemic to have sound. The reason being, the recording which I had done was aired in various quarantine centers in Mumbai, where many people were there, and they came to know that the patients who were there revived faster, and they went home in an earlier period than what they had decided to keep them onto. Secondly, after going home, these patients were advised to use that recording again, and I guess it worked. And having done that, I felt fulfilled. The satisfaction which came up, it made me feel fulfilled. Corporates were feeling good that yes, our employees, though working from home, somewhere are feeling good about having mental, emotional wellness around in their corner, a call away, and somebody who could help them along the journey. So yes, sound helps a lot, and it has been a boon to mankind. Though our president is no more now, but still his title, boon to mankind, it became a truth now with these workshops which were conducted. And of course, there are a lot of other people, other diseases also, which can be handled with sound. So 307 is still a small number. I try to look at making it much bigger in 2021, because economically also we need to look at things. That is where Reclaim Your Riches has come up. So I will say it's a divine plan. Nothing is a coincidence. It just comes. You don't have to plan anything. You just be with the flow, keep giving, and things just happen. So those who are looking to helping mankind, you can connect to me to see what is possible, and together we can make it bigger.
Ma'am, we know that you are so much into spirituality. How did it started in your life?
How spirituality, the journey is very long. In fact, I really don't know how to say, because there was a near-death experience at age 12. And as a miracle, I was revived back. And then after that, there was the first time I saw the death in the family. After my marriage, I had never seen death in the family. So after the marriage, I saw my sister-in-law who passed away. And then I realized that man is not here to suffer, because she was suffering for a full year. She had AML, that is acute myeloid leukemia. So then it came to me that this is not life. Definitely this is not life. So the experiences and the channeling which had happened at age 12, it got activated at age in 1996 when my sister-in-law was suffering and the whole episode happened. So I would guess that all of us have one turning point in our lives which shifts us from what we are to what we truly should be. And these were the transition points. Now, about my near-death experience, there's a whole video which has been there. It's a long journey, how it surprised the doctors, the Philomena's hospital, the Martha's hospital. They all were thinking that this is like a miracle, how a person who's been flatlined comes back into being a heartbeat to place, right? So this was one of the journeys. And spirituality, if I have to speak, it comes to me from my parents, because my father is highly spiritual, which is mentioned in my book, though he was a leading businessman of South India. He was leading, I would say, I was born with a silver spoon, a golden spoon, you could say, but we were not allowed to look at it as a golden spoon. It was meant that we are holding on to something given to us as a gift, and we need to give back to the society. That is what my parents came from, the space from where my parents came. And my mother, she was more religious, not that spiritual. So this combination gave me a right understanding, a right environment for me to grow, both in the form of understanding rituals and spirituality. And because both my parents were international speakers, apart from their business, they were very passionate about spreading the word of world peace through ahimsa. Live and let live was the logo. And they used to continuously speak on various platforms. And in 1979, when I was around 10 years old, they had gone to Europe. And there they addressed World Vegetarian Congress with regards to the rules of ahimsa followed in India. And that is the first time when there was a person who stood up and said, when a French can speak in France, when a person from France can speak in French, though I speak English, I choose to speak in Hindi. And they had to make the whole setup immediately, because this man from India refused to speak in a language which was not his national language, because other countries had chosen that, and that was my dad. So it was a proud moment for all of us to know. In fact, the whole World Vegetarian Congress stood up to give the applause to him, stating that this is the first time we see an Indian standing with that, and his English is good. He wanted to speak in Hindi. So it was not that he couldn't speak and he wanted to speak. And the other thing is, at age 7, when they were part of the World Vegetarian Congress, there was a beautiful, I would say, nowadays we call it as a conclave. It was a conference where there were people from 97 countries came to Bangalore, and we had a whole conference. And of course, there were all the dignitaries who were speaking. At that point of time, my mom just turned to me and said, "Are you thinking something?" I said, "Yes." She said, "What?" I said, "Ahimsa, the peace, world peace." She told me, "Okay, so what about it?" And she stood up and she said, "Go on the stage and speak." And as 7-year-old, you don't know that there may be a system which they are following. She just said, "Go to the stage and speak." And I said, "Okay." And as a small child may not even know what stage fear is or whatever. I don't know, and I never had that. So I just went there, impromptu, gave a 7-minute speech on why we need to love animals, why we need to follow vegetarianism, why we need to protect the trees. And everybody was stunned at this little girl. And you know what? The podium was quite high. So they bought a stool and they made me stand on that. And I was on that stool speaking. And after 7 minutes, I didn't even realize that I spoke for so long. It was until everybody stood and they gave a standing ovation. I said, "Wow." And it was from that time, there was no stopping back. I've been speaking on various platforms, but the whole motto remains the same: world peace through ahimsa. So joyous living with power of sound is a part of it. So I would say everybody, never stop yourself. If there's something coming in you, just speak up. You may not have anybody like my mother who told, "Go and speak." It should be from within you telling, "Go and do it, just do it." And you never know what impact you will create. I had so many friends there. The people who had come there, they became my friends, because when we were talking, they said, "You spoke like one of us." No prepared speech, nothing, just from the heart. So just go, do it. And when you do it, you will enjoy life. Fear kills and faith builds. This is my logo. This is my quote. I always tell people, follow it and you will live joyous.
Ma'am, I also read something about your plans for women empowerment. Would you like sharing something about it, please?
Yes, women empowerment is very important. Now, when we say women empowerment, for me, it is only economic empowerment. Otherwise, women don't need any empowerment. We are all fine, right? It's just because the simple thing. If you want money, where do you go? Goddess Lakshmi. If you want wisdom, Vidya, you go to Goddess Saraswati. If you need courage, you go to Goddess Durga. So, already empowered. We don't need energetically, we're already empowered. Now, when people start talking about we have to be equal, I say, why equal? We are already above, we are equal to man, we are equal and above with regards to our own understanding of life. Now, it is not with regards to who is bigger or smaller, it is just that our understanding of life. Now, coming to women empowerment, for me, economic empowerment is the key to women empowerment. And during the pandemic, I noticed that there were a number of women who started the cloud kitchens. They started using their gifts which they have, the talents which they have so beautifully. They were running households when men lost jobs, when it was the women who stepped up with their talents. So now we don't need a pandemic to wake up. We can always use our talents, connect to people, start having your own circles, try to bring out your gifts to the world, because more you give your gifts to the world, more is the returns you get. Now, money is just a medium which shows that how much value you have added. So, women, if you want to be empowered, first take a break of one day, sit down and write what you are good at and what you love doing. And I guess you don't have to have degrees to be empowered. I would definitely say that wherever you are, in the remotest of the village, every human being has a talent, a gift which has been given by the divine. Use it to the fullest, and with the digital media, showcase it well. And yes, there are various NGOs which are coming up now, which is trying to uplift women economically. So I guess women empowerment starts with economic independence, economic empowerment, and you already have it. All you have to do is step up, take the action. And as the National Chairperson, Education and the National Child and Women Development Council, women empowerment is one of the major aspects I look into.
Married women, anything particular message for them, please?
Marriage is a new step in life, which is very important as well. And for women, it is a huge transition because we come to a new environment. You may have known the person for 20 years or whatever, but still, it's a new environment. Now, in that environment, everything is expected from the women. The adaptability quotient of the woman has to be strong. Her emotional quotient also has to be strong. It is not that the environment is going to change. So don't expect anybody to change for you. Rule number one. And married women, understand that you come to a status where you become more accountable for the family. But that doesn't mean that you are not accountable to your own identity. Don't lose your identity. What you have always dreamt of, continue doing. Rule number one, marriage is not a full stop. It should be a hyphen, continuation. And I would say, taking my own story, I was blessed to be having what I thought of to have in my life. But marriage did not stop me. Of course, there were trivials. First 2 years, lot of problems because the transition, like I said, transition. But that also helped me evolve. That also made me stronger. Because somewhere I was feeling that my identity is this is not me. That is simple. I came to that awareness. This is not me. So where is me? And when I came to know, it was just like, it just came up as a jiffy. I said, forget it. Me has to live. I don't have to think, but of course, with responsibility, with accountability. Keep all those aspects in mind and start. You're blessed with a good support system. Very good. If you are not blessed, create a support system. And the support system starts with you. Later on, my son, he's a musician and he's also with the Guinness World Record holder, guitarist. So he was my next support system, because when I was doing my research on power of sound, I couldn't have done it alone. Music is very important when we talk about power of sound. it was Jainam, my son, who helped me a lot. So though I did not put his name because he was just 16, I said, no, you have helped me, good. I will mention it as an accolade that yes, he's helped me. I will not allow you, because what happens is somewhere we tend to become overconfident. And I was very aware about it. So I said, you will write your own book. You will make your own world records. That is what I see in you. So your support system for married women, even if you have children, have your children comply with your work and you help them grow in life. This is the reason why I'm sharing is there should be a beautiful association, a merger between you and your family members, that they stand up as your support system. And this can only happen when you actually build trust, win their hearts. And how to win the hearts is being true to yourself. How much can you mask? And one day when the mask falls off, you will lose trust. So be true to yourself. Whatever you do, do it from your heart. And when you speak from your heart, when you do things from your heart, sooner or later, the family is going to be with you. They are going to support you. I'm a living example. So yes, transition comes, but that is not a full stop. Remember that. Marriage is a beautiful association of people coming together to create a better world for all around them. So happy living and joyous living is a birthright. Married or unmarried, you have a right to be happy.
Somehow we youth and maybe children are still there. There's someone for them. Is there some message for the people who are specifically elders and are in stress?
Yeah, that's a very important question which you have put up, because during the pandemic, the elderly, especially the people beyond 55, there has been research conducted and which has shown that they have been affected because of inability to express in the way which they wanted to. And secondly, having all the people in the house continuously working from home. So they have lost their own space also. Right? What they used to call as home, what they used to have their regular routines, those things have also been impacted. Now, the two important aspects is children have been impacted because they are not going to school. They are just sitting on the screen and doing their education. The other impacted people are the elderly. Now, the people who are in the working age group, they are somewhere having 8 to 10 hours of work where they are engrossed and they are carrying on with their work. Of course, it's something new, but they have got used to it. Now, the elderly, because they cannot, so I would say for them, though, if they can read, it's very important that they read something which is motivational and inspirational. Secondly, if they are able to, they love music, encourage them to start learning music online. Maybe they could sing, they could do anything which they like. Join communities wherein the people of their age group come together, and maybe they can have a fun-filled evening, or maybe they can have some activity which happens. Now, the other thing is very important. At this age, generally people would have thought that when I grow old, I will do these things. They would have had their bucket list. I will travel. When I'm 55, of course, I've seen the peak. I have enough money with me. Now I would travel. I will meet my friends. I will spend more time with other people. But now all that has stopped. So it is a big blow to them. Imagine somebody's dreams which they have worked hard for. The whole youth, they have worked for that. And now when they come to this point, they say, you cannot go out, you are caged. So this is the time, encourage them to take up their hobbies. Encourage them to meet people online if they cannot go out. Encourage them to be a part of the house. Very important. Do not seclude them. Make them a part of the house. Tell them, encourage them that you know this. Can you share your experiences? The family can learn best from their elders. The children can be told stories, the mythological stories and all these things which otherwise wouldn't have been possible. So I guess to reduce stress, our elderly should step up into understanding that there is a life in a different format. We did not be stressed. We did not have high BP or heart problems or diabetes or whatever which comes with the age package. Need not go there. And the other most important thing is try to be in the company of people who encourages you to do things. Not the one who are going to discourage that you're too old to do anything. It's never too old. Just enjoy life because you live only once. And no point of dying every day. When we have to die, we die. It's okay. That's the truth. But till then, live to the fullest. So yes, I guess you use that YouTube link which I had mentioned. I say all the people whether the youth or the young or the old, please go ahead. It's free for all. So use it. It was part of my app, which was to be paid. But then when this thing came up, I said, no way I'm going to even wait for the app to come up. It's just going to give it to the world. Let's help many. So the elderly, don't feel that you are secluded. Pandemic is a boon for you also. It is only the way you look at it.
Great, ma'am. Great. Awesome. Ma'am, our channel is basically inspiring optimism. You have so much inspiration. I mean, if we talk about degrees, if we talk about your coaching, your healing, any particular message through this channel we can share to the entire community? Please go ahead.
Yes, so one lesson which I have learned in my life, or maybe that has been my driving factor, is we need to understand that we humans have come here to enjoy life, to create experiences. We have not come here to be in the grind to the end when we say that we have not lived fully. So never live with regret. Enjoy whatever you love doing. That's the first thing which I always follow, because what I'm going to talk is what I follow. The second most important aspect is all human beings contribute to each other to become what they are. So when we are doing things as a team, definitely there is a huge impact which you can create. So believe in sisterhood, believe in manhood, believe in humanity. Third thing, always look at what you can give. Never look at what will I receive, because you will naturally receive much more than you can think of, beyond your imagination, because the cycle of karma is anyway going to start. So always look at what is it in me which I can give. What is it I can give? I remember this because I was mentored by my beautiful guru, I would say, APJ Abdul Kalam ji. I'm one of the namunas of his mentorship. And I would say that we always used to start our talk with, come on, start. What is it that you can give? And you know what? When we ask this question, so many things come up, and that gives us the confidence that we are not empty. We are filled with so many gifts that God has given us. So start giving one by one, keep giving, and more you give, more will come to you. And the most important aspect, love yourself immensely for what you are. If you do not love yourself, you can never love anybody. I do that, and I tell people, love yourself, because if you love yourself, others will love you. Don't expect others to love you. Nobody can love you if you don't love yourself. So these 4 bumble points, very important to reclaim your riches. Also, I would say, reclaim your riches is not just about money. It is about everything. Imagine you having millions of dollars, but nobody to share with. Imagine you having everything, but no good health to enjoy. Life is that's no use. You're not living. So it's very important to follow these 4 pointers which I've shared. And the message is, we are humans, come here to have a fruitful, happy, and joyous life. The mission of me is, I would say, DSS, that's Divine Soul Sound, is joyous living with the power of sound and reclaim your riches. This is how we have come together to impact lives globally and create a happy life for all humans, all beings on life, not just humans, even animals, even plants, trees. So everybody has a right to live joyously in harmony. So live and let live is my message.
That's great. Wonderful. Thank you so much for your wonderful time. We enjoyed a lot and hope everyone will get back to you soon. They will have so many questions for you.
Thank you so much. And yes, questions, do not stop your questions, because the more you ask, the more you receive.